How's it going, everyone? Ryan from the MTG Homebrew Network here, today again with another deck tech. Today we're talking about BOGLES in Tiny Leaders. So Tuvasa the Sunlit, start there. Tuvasa is a merfolk shaman for green, white, blue, legendary creature. Tuvasa gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and whenever you cast your first enchantment spell each turn, draw a card. So, typically, the BOGLES deck plays creatures with hexproof. Tuvasa does not have hexproof. That's okay. The plan is to not put your auras on Tuvasa, but instead put them on the BOGLE, and then have Tuvasa be the backup big beater. It's basically just a supplemental beater that also draws you cards when you cast spells. We also have Birds of Paradise. What? Wait. We have our suite of BOGLES, which are creatures with hexproof, in Geist of St. Traft, Cyba Cryptomancer, Silhana Ledgewalker, Slippery Boggle, and Glade Cover Scout. Notably, all of these creatures have hexproof, but what's most important is that they have hexproof. All of the other supplemental text is just good stuff, and if you're going to be paying extra mana for a creature with hexproof, it should follow up with something else like Geist or Cyba Cryptomancer. I'd like to talk about this one real quick, where it's backup. When it enters the battlefield, you can put a +1/+1 counter on another creature, or itself, and if it's another creature, it gets hexproof. That's really important with Tuvasa, because if they're going to try to remove it, you can flash in Cyba Cryptomancer to save your Tuvasa, or you can play it aggressively and just have it be a 1/2 hexproof flash. That you can play at their end step, and if they tap out of mana, then you just get to start putting auras on it as soon as you play it. We also have a ton of other aura-adjacent creatures like Core Spirit Dancer and Citizen Champion. These are all good creatures that supplement an enchantment build well, but they wear auras less effectively as they can be targeted by your opponent. But realistically, you're just going to be playing your BOGLE and then having the supplemental things like Tuvasa, Core Spirit Dancer, all of those things just be on the battlefield as well as the BOGLE that you're trying to stack up. We also have Birds of Paradise and a Noble Hierarch to supplement mana. Noble Hierarch is good because it gives Exalted for the one creature that we're usually going to be having attack. Pretty good there. Oh, we also have, it was hidden from me, Invisible Stalker is one of the best BOGLES. It has hexproof and can't be blocked. Really awesome. We also have Kasali Pride Mage with Exalted, similar to Noble Hierarch. It gives a creature +1/+1 when it attacks alone, and you could sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very solid to have in the main board, and you can also have other stuff in the sideboard that deals with artifacts and enchantments, but it's just good enough on its own in the main. And the last creature that I really want to talk about is Mother of Runes, which is going to be able to help you in combat, get your BOGLES through, as well as save Tuvasa, save itself, save your Core Spirit Dancer. Mom just puts in the work and sticks around for when you need her. So moving on, we have some sorceries to supplement our game plan and instance as well. Open the Armory says, search your library for an aura and equipment card for 1 and a white, put in your hand, and shuffle your library. We're going to be searching for some auras, not so much equipment, but it can find our buff spells or some removal, really whatever we need at the time. We have Prismatic Ending, which in a 3-color deck will clear any non-land permanent on the board that you can target. We have Savine's Reclamation, which is awesome. If your BOGLE somehow dies and you lose your auras with it, you can pay 5 mana from your graveyard and just get back the creature and something to put on it. It's really sweet. For our instance, we have Enlightened Tutor, which is kind of the same thing as Open the Armory, but it can also just get whatever enchantment we need or artifact. Not that we're playing any, but you know what I mean. And Swords to Plowshares, which is just by and far the best removal spell in, I would say, Magic. I'm not sure. I think it's hotly contended, but just 1 white, get rid of their thing. They gain life equal to its power. Clear their blocker, you're already attacking them. Moving on to the enchantments that we're going to be focusing on. I'm going to skip Abundant Growth for now, but we have All That Glitters, Ancestral Mask, Armadillo Cloak, Ethereal Armor, Rancor, to an extent Strength of the Harvest, Unflinching Courage. All these things are going to be buffing up our creature. We are just trying to pump as many enchantments onto our hexproof creatures as possible, and then walk through our opponents as if they were not there. Speaking as if they were not there, we have Equi's Form to make our creature unblockable, and when it attacks, scry 1, so their blockers aren't there. Same thing with like Armadillo Cloak and Unflinching Courage. They're going to give trample, make sure we get damage in. Spirit Mantle is kind of a way more cracked version of Aqueous Form, but it's just +1/+1 and has protection from creatures for 1 and a white. Just walk through their stuff, they're not going to stop you. And we have some protection stuff as well in Spider Umbra and Hyena Umbra to make sure that we have some board wipe protection. If a creature that is enchanted by these auras would be destroyed, instead destroy the enchantment and keep the creature. Moving on, our lands are pretty basic. It's just, you know, fetches, command tower, nothing super out of the ordinary for a 3-color deck. No surveil land, that might change, but I really just wanted to like have our lands be our lands and not like a source of you know, I guess extra value if we need it. And we have 3 basics, 1 of each. And then sideboard, we have Authority of the Consuls to lock down our opponent's creatures and to gain us some extra life on the aggro deck matchups. Blue Blast to fight the red decks, Dispel to fight the blue decks, Miscast to also fight the blue decks. Natural State is kind of the same thing that I was talking about with Solid Pride Mage, 1 green and destroy any artifact or enchantment in the format. Rest in Peace to fight the graveyard decks, Rule of Law to fight Storm. Seal of Primordium is the kind of same thing with Natural State, but you can tutor it off of your Enlightened Tutor if you need to. Soul Guide Lantern is just a very good like graveyard piece. It's kind of doing the same thing as Rest in Peace, but I liked having the tutorable thing and efficient thing in the sideboard to fight a strategy. And then Surge of Salvation is just you and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. It's like fine, I think this is the most flex spot, but just having an extra thing to fight red decks is good. Because if you think about it, like Blue Blast will kill a red permanent, but the red decks are usually going to have like more than one thing that's kind of coming at you. So preventing damage and making sure you don't die to big red decks is, I would say, worth putting something in the sideboard for. Yeah, so that's Boggles. Tuvasa is really good. It's definitely one of the things where you're trying to have the cards in your hand to be the first thing you do and then have the leader be supplementary to that. When you're behind or when you're already ahead, it's just going to help you push damage through, draw cards, and supplement the I'm putting a creature into play that you can't interact with and I'm going to make it huge and then walk through you strategy. Yeah, that's Boggles.